Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Fitchburg Historical Society, one of my favorites, Winnie Lacy. She's here. Winnie, welcome back to the show. Long time no see.
Thank you. It's good
Glad
to be
to
here.
have you.
It's
Glad
good
to
to be here.
Today we're talking about elections. You were running through some fast statistics before we went on here, and pretty cool information that you have here today. But first and foremost, let's just start where we are today.
All right.
Because you have that information. And then we're going to go back
All
in
right.
time. But today, how does it lay out as far as the different, who represents who, all those different lines across Fitchburg?
Well, Fitchburg has 4 aldermanic districts. It has 3 school districts, which confuses some people.
A lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's got 2 county supervisor districts and 2 state legislative districts, and none of the lines coincide with any of the others. It makes election day very confusing sometimes.
You're telling me when I'm trying to read off everything and tell people, all right, this is where you go if you're in District 4.
You're right, exactly.
It's crazy.
It is.
So walking back here, we have information going back quite a ways here, but I'm going to pick on the year 1878.
1878. That was the year that they built the new town hall, correct?
That is correct.
Correct. For $500.
Yeah, I'm not giving her $500 because she answered it. $500 for this small building.
Yeah, it was kind of looked like a one-room schoolhouse type of thing, and it had gone before the Board of Supervisors, the town board, several times before they finally decided they needed a town hall.
And before that, how was it breaking down? Because that's pretty fascinating as well.
Well, the supervisors, there were 2 supervisors and a chairman. Three people ran the town. How about that?
3.
3.
Okay.
And they met usually at the town chairman's house, over the dining room table or the kitchen table, whatever.
I call this meeting, I'll do the dishes in a minute, hon, okay?
Right. Pass the pie.
Yeah, right?
And they took several votes before they finally decided they definitely needed a building. The annual meeting for the entire town and elections were held at a one-room school nearby, a centrally located one. And as close as I can come to reading the records, it was the school that was located at the corner of Fish Hatchery and Lacy Road.
Crazy.
Yep.
Fish, just out here.
Right. Yep. Where the daycare center is now.
Gotcha.
There was a little one-room school there, and there's pictures of that around and whatever. But anyway, that's where they met. And they took several votes, several years, to finally decide they needed a place of their own.
And that kind of leads into, too, at the same time, transitioning from Greenfield to Fitchburg, right?
Oh, they had already done that.
That had happened?
That had happened before. That had happened shortly after Fitchburg became a township, which was in 1830-something. I think it turns into a town in the 1840s.
So our Fitchburg town still consisted of those 3 people at that time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as the election component goes, then let's wrap that into this. Where did we vote? So we know where we met, but where did we vote?
Well, we voted at that little schoolhouse at the corner of Lacy and Fish Hatchery Road. And besides the 3 people who ran, there were also people who were committee members. There was weights and measures, and there was different things, and somebody was in charge of weeds, and somebody was in charge of rounding up stray animals. And that sort of thing.
What are you going to be elected for this year? Well, I'm the guy who gets the cows back into the pen there.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
As we transition forward, then, certainly we eventually move into our first town hall. And I'm moving forward here. I'm transitioning faster than time can go.
That was the first town hall. That was basically the town hall. It was a community center. I went to dances there when I was in high school.
No, you didn't.
I did too. They had square dances there.
Oh my gosh.
So this addition to the garage building was built in the early 1960s, and that.
This one's 1850. It says on here.
Yeah, that was when it was built. But this one was built in the 1960s. And this was a picture of the last election that they had in that town hall.
Man.
Yeah.
And just so you know, there's let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's supposed to be 8, but there's supposed to be only 7 because there's a rule about having an odd number of workers at the polls, and I don't know why there's 8 there. I never did figure that one out. But
Oh boy. Oh boy, are you
okay.
opening that one?
No,
we're not.
I don't know if there's anybody left there that I can ask about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we started again moving forward. We had stuff in our what was the original city hall up top of Fish Hatchery
At
Road,
2377 South Fish Hatchery.
which is truly, and I've learned this throughout the years because of all the folks at the Historical Society, that is the center spot of Fitchburg.
No, it's not.
That's what I was told. That's what I was told. You can't debunk that for me, right?
Yes, I can.
What? Where's the center?
What do you mean by the center?
Up at the fish.
What do you mean by center?
Like the center located.
Well, it's not the center located. It's off center. The actual center spot is more the original schoolhouse that they voted at.
Really?
Really, yeah.
At Fish Hatchery and Lacy?
Yeah, that's closer to being the center. Yeah.
Winnie.
I'm sorry.
Man, it's wrecking my day.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to point out here, you brought some stuff from the roll, which is pretty crazy here. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what we got on the table here?
Well,
this is pretty impressive.
That particular thing right there is the handwritten poll list from 1920, one of the first elections that women had the right to vote. And I think, what do we say, there was 137?
187, I think I said that was in here.
And there's...
it is crazy, 187. Last one was Joe Kelly, by the way.
I didn't know Joe Kelly.
You didn't know Joe Kelly?
No, I didn't know him.
I don't see. I was going to page through here and see if I could find the Lacys in here.
There's a couple.
There's a couple?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But then it goes up to this. So then you look at 2011.
Yeah.
The roll is
this,
a binder.
This is the poll list, a master poll list that they print out for every election. Now, this one was from 2000 and whatever. And it gives a total number of how many voters there were in Fitchburg at that time.
And give me the facts again on the women voters throughout the years, the ones you were reading off to me before we came on.
Well, the very first one, there was only 17 women voted. And I didn't get the number of voters that were in, and everything was handwritten. They just came in, told their name, it was written down, and then they went to vote. And there were 17 women that September of 1920. And then on the next one that I did check, it was 187 voters, and there were 33 women.
It's crazy.
It went up from there. I didn't do any more of the handwritten poll list.
And you were an inspector.
I ended up being chief inspector. Everybody that works at the poll is this poll inspector, election inspector.
You were chief.
I was chief. I wore a feather in my hat. No, I didn't. But I did come in my full regalia, red, white, and blue.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Winnie, I appreciate the time. Great information here. And certainly you want to learn more, you head to their website, and you can find a whole slew of information, and certainly stop by the library, too. Say hi to when you guys are there. I mean, you guys, it's a working...
Yeah, it has to be by appointment if you're going to do anything in the archives. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the show soon.
Okay.
All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, I was going to call.
We're going to take a quick break.
All right.
You are watching Talking Fitchburg, Winnie.
I want